Welcome, WrestleRanters, to WrestleRant edition number 15, a historic, monumental milestone for Bleacher Report featured columnist Graham GSM Matthews here today to review Monday Night Raw Super Show for October 10th, 2011. Unfortunately, there is not too much positive to say here tonight, as we are coming off the heels of one of the most horrendous, unforgiving booking for a terrible booking of Monday Night Raw in a long, long while. Since the heels of CM Punk's controversial promo back on June 27th on Monday Night Raw, we were given some more intriguing, interesting ways to tune into WWE programming. Going into July, when we had Jim Ross come back in the commentary, we had Triple H take over COO, CM Punk capturing the WWE Championship, and well into August, we had some excellent editions of Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and so on and so forth. September began to display some signals of some unweariness in the booking of Monday Night Raw, especially after what happened at Night of Champions with the title changing hands yet again, and Alberto Del Rio capturing the championship back in Hell in a Cell, showing that the WWE Championship is merely worthless. So last night was the be-all, end-all, the climax of the horrendous booking that we've seen on WWE for a long while. So to kick off the show, we had Triple H come out, followed by John Cena, CM Punk, and Sheamus to talk about the walkout. Now, I think this is a wannabe way to relate themselves to actual sports such as NFL, NBA, and all those lockouts. And this walkout had the potential to be something much, much greater, but fell flat on its ass for a handful of reasons, especially with Triple H saying that he can out-wrestle half the roster with a broomstick. Now, that was a good line. I laughed at that one. But he's just basically burying half the roster and half of his talent in the company, which he is kind of known for, and he just kind of backed that up, especially after all that heat that he got for saying that no one else can face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 27 back in March, if you can recall that. Yeah, that wasn't the best choice of words last night from Triple H. And then we had Punk come out, and then we had Cena versus Sheamus, an impromptu match. I like the feel that they gave there, something out of the ordinary, with Triple H as the referee, CM Punk on commentary. I don't think it really gave any viewers any incentive to watch Monday Night Raw with such a random match that wasn't really promoted ahead of time, which I guess it really wouldn't need to be since the walkout. But, and then it went into commercial like 2 minutes later. So I don't understand the tagline of Triple H, having Triple H saying that wrestling does in fact matter, but then going into commercial less than 2 minutes into the bout of Sheamus versus John Cena. What logic does that make? And when they came back from commercial, nearly 30 seconds later, we saw the return of former WWE chairman in storyline, Vince McMahon, in a very anticlimactic manner. Obviously, there were no announcers to play up the return of Vince McMahon, which kind of downplayed the entire moment of it. I mean, I was bowing down at the screen, which I always do when I hear No Chance in Hell hit the arena. But this really felt unnecessary for Mr. McMahon to return this early. I mean, not really this early, because he's been gone for 3 months. But in this manner, I should say. Because he only came out for a minute to name John Laurinaitis, Mr. Funkman, Johnny Ace, as the new Raw General Manager. So I really do not see the need of bringing back Vince McMahon at this point in the storyline. I'm not sure if he's heel, I'm not sure he's face. He could be behind the entire thing, just playing up Triple H. Where's Triple H go from here? It creates a lot of questions, but it also creates a lot of answers to stuff that we do not need to know the answers to right now. John Laurinaitis says Raw GM. I mean, hell, yeah, sure, he can create a lot of heat, which was displayed with his promo at the start of his reign as general manager, as interim general manager, I should say. But his character is just a total miss for me. I could not bear more to see Johnny Ace on Monday Night Raw each and every week, making these horrendous decisions. That opening segment did absolutely nothing for me, especially after I saw a variety of tweets that a lot of people weren't pleased either. I'm not sure what this incentive is to get to viewers to be hooked for the remainder of the programming, but I didn't see any point of this, of naming John Laurinaitis. I mean, hell yeah, sure, it makes sense in that this whole storyline made sense from the very beginning when they started mentioning and showing John Laurinaitis back on television this past summer. And I guess we all should have saw this coming. But I guess this is a real anticlimactic moment when they could have had the return of Mick Foley or something like that. But I mean, whatever. This is WWE we're talking about, so I'm not going to say anything more than that. So after that, we had Christian versus John Morrison in a match that only lasted a minute. So I guess these matches that are lasting a minute are kind of familiar with John Morrison at this point, after jobbing to Cody Rhodes, Alberto Del Rio, 3 other superstars and other champions, and just Christian last night on Monday Night Raw. I mean, I can't really call it a match either. I can applaud them for making it a realistic bout, because they had both of them wrestle in their street clothes. I mean, it's unrealistic to have both of them wrestle in their wrestling clothes, their wrestling gear, because they just got out from the lockout, or the walkout, I should say. But burying John Morrison after hearing the numerous reports that he could be leaving WWE once his contract expires very, very soon, I am starting to believe that Morrison is on his way out of the company. But I do like this stable of Christian's coalition with Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, Jack Swagger, possibly Wade Barrett, as we saw on SmackDown, Vicky Guerrero possibly. So I do like that stable, and they could be something. They have the potential to be huge in WWE. Maybe each of them holding a championship. But I don't think we're going to be able to get that if we see them be demolished, much like they did with the Nexus and the Core in the past year. So that was okay. I like to see Christian winning, but John Morrison jobbing is something you should just get used to at this point. We had Randy Orton versus Mark Henry, World Heavyweight Champion Mark Henry. In correction to that. Really dull bout. I mean, we've already seen it twice before on pay-per-view. I mean, it seemed like a big main event bout. This is after the hour already passed. The first hour was over and within 5 minutes. Well, at least that's what it felt like to me. Then they had this match. Didn't really do anything for me. I saw Cody Rhodes coming out because I was just thinking, as that match was going on, I'm thinking, if Orton's not going to go for the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE Vengeance, then who possibly could? I mean, who's going to be Orton's opponent? And I was thinking, after what he did to Rhodes a couple weeks ago, I mean, it kind of all makes sense. And I'm loving this rivalry, and I am liking Cody Rhodes interfering himself in this match. And Mark Henry got some heat in. And Cody Rhodes is able to cut a decent promo and showing some more depth to his character. I'm looking forward to what they can produce in the ring, even though we've already seen it 3 separate times before. But these guys can create an excellent rivalry, given their history in Legacy and over the last couple of weeks with Orton's barbaric attacks on SmackDown. So this also gave them hype to Friday Night SmackDown as well. We also saw that last week, and SmackDown received a 2.0 rating for their show last Friday night. So I guess these hypes for the Friday night show on Monday Night Raw are certainly helping SmackDown in the long run. Then after that, we had a Divas tag team bout between Kelly and Eve against Tamina and Rosa. Complete train wreck, over within 2 minutes. Every single person in this match cannot wrestle besides Eve, who even botched some matches. I mean, who botched some spots as well. This is an absolute train wreck. Absolutely accomplished nothing with just the Divas of Doom just watching on from the back and the Barbie dolls get up, which is exactly what they're against. So this absolutely did nothing. I do not understand the logic in having Rosa Mendez on television when they're not having like AJ or I mean, AJ is the star athlete of this entire division that's a babyface at this point. I don't see why they just can't put her on television on Monday Night Raw, ever get used to the Raw audience. After that, we had John Laurinaitis announce that the Vengeance main event will be Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. I could not be more freaking bored with John Cena at this point. I've expressed my hatred for John Cena in the past, but this is just an all-time low. They've had John Cena in the title picture since he took the title from Miz at Extreme Rules on May 1st, 2011. John Cena has grown so stale at this point that, I mean, I don't even think it's going to produce any pay-per-view buys at all. The titles changed hands on every single pay-per-view since Money in the Bank this past July. Oh my god. Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena was a very good match and Night of Champions, but they completely overshadowed this feud over the last couple of weeks. No one cares. Nobody cares. I do not want to see John Cena win the back of the championship. If he does, what the hell? Who cares? We've seen it all before. Whatever. It's a complete replay of Night of Champions. Good match. John Cena wins with a clean win. Whatever. Moving on. And after that, John Laurinaitis fired Jim Ross in one of the worst decisions of the night. I mean, I guess it's a little biased seeing that Jim Ross is one of my favorite, or is my favorite commentator of all time, WWE TNA, given whatever promotion. But Jim Ross taking him off commentary, I guess, was kind of given, seeing that Vince McMahon has an obsession to humiliate Jim Ross on a constant basis since he's ever returned to the WWE on a constant basis since this past July. And especially with it being in his hometown, I mean, I guess that is really, really low for Vince McMahon or Laurinaitis to approve such behavior. I really do hope that we see Jim Ross return to programming in the very near future. So after that, we had the 6-man tag team match with Air Boom, Mason Ryan defeating the team of the United States champion Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and David Otunga. The match didn't really do anything for me. I wrote an article just yesterday on Mason Ryan, saying how he is good in small doses, and this is an exact replica of what I was talking about yesterday. He got the pin on the United States champion. I do not see the logic in having Mason Ryan go for the championship. He doesn't need a championship. He should be a heel in the first place. But I do see the logic in having Zack Ryder go back for the title, as he tweeted last night that he did pin the United States champion 2 weeks in a row, and now he's nowhere to be seen on WWE programming. I have no idea. I don't know. So moving on, we had CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio go to a no contest because John Laurinaitis decided to make it a tag team match. Who cares? CM Punk and Del Rio hate each other. We should have saw that Del Rio was going to walk out on him from the very beginning. I mean, who cares about this? This match did absolutely nothing for me because the match ended in DQ anyway. Out comes Super Triple H, who is so over with the WWE fans that he's not going to be turning heel anytime soon, if at all, before he retires indefinitely. And then they absolutely buried Awesome Truth at the end of programming, announcing a tag team match of vengeance. There's a whole variety of things that I can say about this segment and show as a whole, but we don't have much time left. But this was a very, very, very... I don't have the words to describe this episode. Very bad, very horrendous, very terrible, very bad booking WWE. The worst booking that we've seen in a long time. The worst, boring, horrendous episode of WWE in a very, very long time. Having it end this way, I mean, I have no incentive to turn into next week in the Monday Night Raw. I mean, okay, Triple H and CM Punk can dominate Awesome Truth. They're going to do that at Vengeance. Why do I need to watch Raw next week? I mean, it hurts me to say that next week is the Raw Go-Home show because they've had like 4 pay-per-views in the last like 2 months, which is unbelievable. With the zero hype that they're giving any of these matches, no one's going to buy this. If you thought no one was going to buy Hell in a Cell, I doubt anyone's going to buy WWE Vengeance. Especially with the way that all this booking is going recently. I mean, no one really cares to see any of this going on as time rolls on and as time progresses. But absolutely terrible booking. I cannot see WWE getting any worse than this. Hell, even TNA Impact is getting better as of late. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a review for that last week. I don't think they will be able to do it for this week. But Impact is getting a lot better than on their way to Bound for Glory than WWE is with all this hotshot booking at the last minute booking. So this is just terrible. I mean, I really have no other words, and I don't want to bombard you, even though the title of my blog is WrestleRant. I could WrestleRant on for another hour or so, but I'll just keep it short and sweet, and less is more, as I like to say. So, that is about it. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I just talk wrestling with anybody. I'm tweeting at all points of the day. I have Twitter accessible at any point in the day, so tweet me if you want to talk about wrestling, anything. WWE, TNA, possibly even UFC. I watch some UFC. So also make sure next week to check out my appearance on Ring Rust Radio with Donald Wood, a Bleacher Report featured columnist. Make sure also to check out my Bleacher Report profile below in the links. I just recently wrote an article on the Big Show and Mason Ryan, so make sure to check out that in the links below. Follow me on Twitter at save_us_GSM, and to visit my personal website for WWE TNA, rumors, recaps, reviews, and more at nextairwrestling.weebly.com. And I also appreciate all the likes on this video, subscribes, comments, Twitter feedback, all that stuff. So thank you very much. I appreciate all your feedback, all the love. And this is Bleacher Report featured columnist GSM signing out.